Good morning and thank you for tuning into CV Magazine. You can see behind me quite a few vehicles parked over here in the western suburbs of Mumbai. This is where typically the transporters wait to get their order for the next onward journey. Most of them attached to some aggregator or the other, and some of them obviously the small and medium enterprises running as single owner cum driver organizations. Now today the important backdrop behind me signifies the growing use of CNG in the market. Right from small commercial vehicles to the IL and CV, and now even with the MNHCV, CNG is catching up speed with the growing infrastructure and still that price disparity between diesel and CNG. No matter, there might be critics who might say that the price has come close between the two fuels, but there is still that bit of a window which is convincing operators to go for CNG, and more so they are quite convinced that in the long term CNG is going to be a more profitable alternative for them. So today we have one interesting CNG vehicle lined up for you because of this backdrop and the whole adoption trends around CNG. We decided to pick up a CNG vehicle today. So let's unveil the vehicle today. The vehicle with me is none other than, you can guess which one, on my left or my right. Okay, today we are going ahead with the left one. That's the Mahindra Jeeto CNG Plus for you. Now Mahindra has done quite a lot to enhance driver comfortability, drivability, as well as looking at the operator requirements. They want to ensure the lowest total cost of operations and ensure highest profitability. These are some of the objectives that the company has tried to meet with their old model, the Jeeto, which was launched way back in 2015 and now makes way to the market in its CNG avatar. It's called the CNG Jeeto CNG Plus 400 signifying the range that the company claims with the two CNG tanks on board. So there are two tanks, as I said, one of 40 liters, one of 28 liters. With this, operators can hope to go up to at least a simulated range of 400 kilometers. We'll have to still wait and see what is the kind of mileage they get on road, but this is what the company claims. It claims that the simulated range for the Jeeto CNG Plus 400 is near about 400 with the two tanks on board. So a lot of closer details that we will get from our review today. You're still watching CV Magazine, so we are in the interior cabin of the Mahindra CNG Jeeto Plus 400, and the vehicle obviously takes a little bit of getting used to from the diesel and petrol counterparts, but once you get a hang of it, it's pretty responsive vehicle. The gearbox, for example, is a dash mounted gearbox, so that takes a little bit of getting used to. The initial pickup with CNG can be a little difficult to get used to. The brakes, for example, might be a little hard to apply initially, but once you get past that stage, the comfort level of the Jeeto CNG Plus 400 increases, and it sort of embraces the driver embraces the vehicle. At least that's the experience that has been so far. The total cost of ownership at about 0.22 per kilometer is the lowest that the company claims in the segment. It is offering a best-in-class mileage of about 31.5 per kg, and also the fact that it is offering a lowest possible TCO are some of the advantages that the operators can look at in the new CNG Jeeto Plus 400. Now we are here obviously waiting for our turn to fill up on CNG. Today's rate here in Mumbai is 80 per kg, and I'm looking at 68 liters with a 40 liter tank and a 28 liter tank. So hoping to see how the CNG Jeeto Plus responds to in terms of the mileage and how close can it get to the claimed 400 badge that it is wearing. Now, interestingly, OEMs say that despite the current turmoil in energy prices and gas prices, and the fact that there is very little to choose between a diesel and a CNG from a price perspective, so from that total cost of ownership perspective, the explanation is that till there is a 15% margin between diesel and CNG, operators and OEMs are both for CNG vehicles. So they will start pushing CNG vehicles in the market, followed by looking at LNG and then hydrogen and other biofuel variants. So right now the market is gearing towards CNG vehicles that have a longer range, and this vehicle at about 400 kilometers in the simulated world at least is quite enticing for operators. Operators compare it with segment bests like the Tata CNG or the Tata CNG Plus, which have been there in the market for a little longer. Companies have done about, operators have done about 13,000 odd kilometers in the year that they've owned the vehicles. They claim certain pluses, but the fact that this can offer a 650 kg payload, the fact that there are prospects of going for a higher distance with this vehicle has enticed operators, the small and medium traders who are looking at providing last mile solutions a little. So that's the kind of feel that we get on ground. But a clear takeaway from here is still there is a disparity of about 15% between diesel on the higher side, CNG on the lower side. It could tilt the operator choice in favor of CNG vehicles like the CNG Jeeto Plus 400. So a lot of tiny knickknacks that we will cover in this video in a little while from now, and try to take you around the vehicle. Thank you for tuning into CV Magazine. We are still doing the review and the walkabout of Mahindra CNG Jeeto Plus, and this is the CNG 400, which signifies that the vehicle has a range of about 400 kilometers on two CNG tanks, one being a 40 litre, the other being a 28 litre. So we've been driving this vehicle in and around the suburbs of Mumbai. We tried a filling of CNG as well, and the first impressions that we get, it takes a little time to adjust to the vehicle. So a CNG vehicle is quite different from a diesel vehicle. The performance metrics are quite different. So it is a trade-off between the low total cost of ownership and drivability. So if you are more keen towards a low total cost of ownership and a slight dip in the initial phase for drivability, I think you can go for this vehicle. But if you are a diesel vehicle then maybe you would want performance over low total cost of ownership. So that is besides the point for businesses. But when it comes to looking at this vehicle as a pure CNG vehicle in the market, comparing to CNG vehicles that are competing with this vehicle in the market, then this vehicle stands out. It gives you a payload of 650 odd kg, and it offers best-in-class mileage, best-in-class maintenance of about 0.22 per kilometer. So from that perspective, the company has got certain dynamics right. Jeeto, of course, was launched way back in 2015 as a mini truck, and it had about 8 mini variants in the sub 1 ton category. So the company is banking on that legacy in coming out with this new CNG model. So let's have a closer look at the vehicle. Pretty much the same front fascia like the old Jeeto. You have the semi-forward arrangement, the characteristic grille, the Mahindra badge. This again still for some reason in CVs reflects the older badge. Maybe the new design language is extended from the passenger vehicle to the commercial vehicle as well. So if you look at the vehicle from the side, the vehicle is a 2500 mm wheelbase. This has the CNG 400 badge that the company is banking on, and the load tray is a good 7 feet. So you can expect to take a payload of about 650 kg, and then of course if you build a body, then you can go a little higher on the payload front. These are radials from Seat. And because of CNG, the dynamics have changed. You have the two tanks, you have a thermal management system over there, you have a radiator fan placed right underneath the payload. So this is the access area to the engine compared to vehicles where you have other access points. From the payload itself, you can access this. There's a jack given for this particular access region, where all you do is to take that jack. The company has made certain arrangements where it goes directly into this lock and the tray pops out and you get access to the engine and the water coolant. All of that is housed here right in this payload tray. A 7-feet tray. On the rear you have the conventional bulbs. This matches the arrangement we've also reviewed in the Supro, where you have the sensors, you have the bushes. So if you just open up the tray, this bush allows for a rattle-free experience. Very easy to lock up the tray, and that's pretty much the arrangement. You have lights here again for the number plate. Come over to this side and you have the stepney. So the stepney is housed neatly over here, and in fact I can also show you the tailpipe. If you look at here, that little inside on the departure angle side is where you see the exhaust arrangement. So it has quite a high departure angle. This is perhaps the most interesting aspect of the vehicle. CNG filling now is also evolving. Earlier, from a single valve arrangement, manufacturers are now graduating to the dual filling knobs, where you can do a slow filling and a fast filling. This one, of course, is on the single filling side, but it's quite effective in its task. If there's a nut and bolt arrangement, all you have to do is just simply remove that screw and nut, open it up, and this is your CNG filling nozzle. Just pull this pin out, get the CNG filled in, and pop it back in. It gives you the pressure and the reading over here. The gauge is quite accurate, and you just pop it back inside, and that's how your safe process of filling in the CNG gets completed. Now, a couple of feedbacks that we've got from the operators is the pressure of filling CNG varies from different CNG gas stations, from one CNG gas station to the other CNG gas station. So on that front, we are not too certain as to whether you can fill the CNG tank completely or not. If it is a 40-liter CNG tank, because of pressure variations, if you are able to fill only maybe 2/3 of the tank, your total cost of operation goes for a toss. Your mileage in a single refill might be lowered from that perspective. But if you are able to fill the tank at proper pressures, then you can extract the best juice out of this vehicle. This, a simple D+1 cabin arrangement that you can see. A couple of things that you should know. The one CNG tank was below. If I pop this up, if I just open this up, this gives access to another CNG tank. You just have to loosen it a little bit, just a simple screw, and it will pop open. So this gives you access to the second CNG tank, for those keen on knowing the placements of the tank, right underneath the driver seat. Behind the driver's seat, if I just pull out, pull the seat ahead, here you have access to the speed governor. So there's a continental speed governor fitted over there, which is quite mandatory in CVs, locking the speed at 80 kmph. So that's doing the duties over there. There's no bottle holder in the vehicle, no extra cubby holes as well. Simple pedal arrangement with your clutch, accelerator and brake, but the resting space of these pedals is quite convenient, so you don't really experience fatigue. That is a rack and pinion manual steering given to you. This is for your headlight dippers. You have a simple single dial instrument cluster which shows you just your speed, not your RPM. And if I can just turn on the vehicle, I'll just try and show it to you later. Just a minute. Just pull the key from the glove box. So if I can just turn this on for you. Here, all you're doing over here is you have access to the CNG capacity, the temperature, and your odometer, which is giving you the trip. So a very simple Spartan instrumental cluster and a cabin together. There's a 12-volt socket over there, but apart from that, there is not much for the driver to really get distracted from the drive. It's a 15 kilowatt peak rated power and a torque of about 44 Nm that can be generated between 1600 to 2200 RPM as per company claims. The ride quality that we've experienced, the vehicle frees up from the second gear, and from there on it is quite a decent drive. So it's quite a decent experience, fitted for the job and the task at hand for the Jeeto CNG Plus 400. And an interesting vehicle if you are an operator, you're looking at CNG very closely. These are the kind of vehicles that are entering the market. The market is going to be looking at CNG, the market is going to be looking at LNG. It is also going to graduate to EVs in this space. And then of course, in the high range, you can expect hydrogen and biofuels to come in the near future. That's a small impression of the Jeeto CNG Plus 400. Hope you like the review. Subscribe to CV Magazine and watch out for more such reviews and interactions from the senior leadership.